are more basic issues for many of the organizations. So that's why it's good to know with whom we are talking with, so we can really emphasize the messages which can hook people up. But yeah, thank you for that.
Let me add something on the investor
Sure.
side. It's an important thing to see the traction. So it will be wise to mention about the traction that you have today. The users, the platforms, the events attended, whatever you have in your hand. The mostly value will be of course the ARR or MRR, but if you don't have, show some traction to investors, like events you attended, the users paid or unpaid, you actually gained, or whatever you have in your hand.
Actually, there was a number of users, if you're referring to it, so I showed it.
Yeah. I just wanted to notice that you should emphasize it mostly.
Okay.
What you have in your hand, you should emphasize it mostly.
Okay, thank you. Sure.
This is one of the most important things that the investors want to see in your pitch.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can go with next startup if you want to speech next. Maybe Taha, if you're here.
Yeah, I am here.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taha, and I represent Benim. So human history has known so many revolutions that change our lives, like discovering fire, agricultural revolution, and the industrial revolution. And the last revolution we know is in digitalization. And we all know how it impacts our lives. So the customer needs are leading the food and beverage industry to digitalize. First, the value of time. Why waiting the waiter to bring the menu while accessing all the informations quickly? And second, and especially with while the pandemic, social distance is a must. And the physical menu is the most frequently touched by people. So as a result, using the digital menu is the first step of digitalization for beverage and food section. By scanning the QR code, leads you to digital menu, and you can order from there. In Benim Menu, we adopt while label solution, so our customers can use all the benefits of our service, the performance, online ordering, voice menu, changeable menu, easy management, and so many things. All this under their own brand, and they can create their own domain, own service, and with their own local language. And our future step is go international. So in Benim Menu is the support you need. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Taz. So what Benim Menu does for the businesses, I think it's something with restaurants or places or some, I don't know.
Yeah.
The same critics goes for you as well. So what's the pain point you are solving for?
Yeah, we are creating a digital menu for the restaurants and the cafes, restaurants, hotel. Yeah. So basically, this
all right. So
yeah.
So
digitalization food. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
The digitalization for food and beverage industry. Yeah.
So what does it mean, digitalization? I like the big waves in the world.
Okay.
That to surf it, digitalization, artificial intelligence, etc., industry 4.5, 4.0. So the important thing for an investor is, what are you doing with that wave? Can you surf, or what are you doing for? We know digitalization is a good friend, but what?
I didn't understand the question. I'm really sorry.
So it's about the pain point and the customer itself. What do you solve for the restaurant owner?
Okay. So
the digitalization thing, or some bold statements like digitalization, artificial intelligence, we know these are very big trends, but this is generic statements.
Yeah. So we have a platform where the customer can go there and fill all the information. So they can have the QR code, and this QR code they will show it to their customers, so they can scan it and they can have the digital menu. And there is so many benefits for our service, like the performance. Our service is very fast, and online ordering, so the customer can order just online. Voice menu, so for the blind people, they can have the voice. The customer have the ability to change the menu so many times, and it's easy to manage. Yeah, this is the.
So providing some services for blind people is a good feature. So as a general advice for every startup, it's good not to mention only about the feature, but connect features with benefits with the potential customers. So not only mention about the features, but connect them to benefits that the potential customers will have by using your products. The blind people's voice menu was a good example for that.
Yeah.
Voice menu is a feature with its own. It doesn't make sense without the connection between the feature. But if you say the voice menu will make you having blind people as a customer is a benefit. So just try to connect features with benefits for the potential customers. That was a good point, huh?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we can continue with next startup. Maybe Kadri can go on if he's ready.
Of course. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, we can start now.
Hi guys. This is Kadri. I'm representing Life Story mobile app. Let me first introduce to you our team. For me, I'm a medical expert working 25 years and have experience in the pharmaceutical R&D field. And my partner is engineering Yasin. He's an expert in AI. And we have engineering Anas. He is a senior programmer. And also we have engineering Ahmed Magdi. He is a senior tester. Now, let me clarify the problem and the solution. As you know, due to the digital transformation and due to the fast-paced life, most of people suffer from many syndromes like FOMO, fear of missing out, hurry sickness, and lack of self-awareness. Life Story supports people who lack self-awareness to document every moment of their life, and it provides customized recommendations to enhance users' physical and psychological lifestyle. Life Story app now in the MVP phase. It has been launched 10 months ago, and we have a good number of downloads and active devices. And about our business model, for now we are in the freemium model, and we have also revenue from the ads. In our roadmap, we will convert to the B2C subscription model and B2B affiliate model. And for our marketing strategy, we will depend mainly on the digital marketing in the Turkish territory. That's for now. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kadri, for the presentation. It was a brief statement about what are you doing right now. So one of the advices that I can provide today to you is just focusing on the core business. The core business you have is the life story thing itself. So from an investor's perspective, it will be always better to focus on the revenue coming from that thing, not the ads. So don't show investors that our revenue model is solely depending on the ads, rather depending on the core business. So if you can increase that side and decrease the other indirect revenue model, the ads I'm meaning, it will be better to both for gaining traction and gaining investment. So just focus on the core business model and just try new ways to gain some revenue from your current customers with your core business, not the ads or not the indirect costs. So we don't like that kind of indirect cost. The revenue should come from the core business itself. So keep going on that side, not the ad side.
That's great. Thank you for the advice.
You're welcome. For every friend of mine today, if you found the answers to generic, you can please do not hesitate to deep questions, to question in detail. So I'm here for that thing today. You can ask more detailed questions if you want.
Can I ask for the core
Sure,
business,
of course.
business model? Our main core business model will be a subscription. It will be a B2C model. And also we have B2B through agreements with the service providers, which it will be has a priority to be our business model, B2B or B2C.
It depends on the business. It depends on you. Whatever works, go for it. If B2B works, go for it. If B2C works, go for it. But not depend on the ads or something or some indirect revenues. I don't know your business in detail, so I don't want to comment in a generic way. Normally, I like more B2B models, but it's only my investment thesis. So for another investor, B2C works fine as well. So whichever you pursue for, whichever you generate more revenue, you can go for it. Just keep in mind that it should come from your core business, not indirect third parties, fourth parties, or ads or something. Just focus on that thing, and it will work.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay, I think we can go with Anastasia if she's ready.
Okay, yes, I'm ready. I'm just asking myself if I should present the slides or it's okay without slides. What do you believe? Is it difficult to make me the host for the moment? Share the slides?
Okay. I will make you co-host now. Yes, you are co-host.
Great. Just a moment. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Anastasia. I'm the owner of the travel agency and founder of Russian Spirit Project. Basically, this is a touristic project, as I mentioned, and the main objective of this project is to show a different Russia, a unique spiritual tours to Russia, to different foreigners who want to discover our country. Because usually people are visiting just St. Petersburg and Moscow, and they do not know many touristic places in Russia that could be of real interest for them. So the concept is basically to have an online catalog of the different tailor-made tours in unique locations in Russia and in 3 different formats. This is an audio format for those who are afraid, for example, to travel in groups and they want to discover the country by themselves. The online format for those who are afraid of pandemic, but they still want to visit the country before going there after the pandemics, let's say, or for example, they just want to see the places before going there. And the normal format, this is the offline format in the small groups. What is particular is that all those tours are made based on the needs of the person, so they can be combined between themselves. If a person is visiting different locations, we can combine those locations for him and make this tailor-made tour. And it is made in the language of the person and made by the experts, such as historians, special guides, museum workers, and so on. So we basically collaborate with the local businesses, and at the same time, we provide a quality product in the local language of the person who is addressing to us. Each person gets a concierge that is working with him during the trip. So in case if he uses the audio format, let's say, he can always make a question to the person who is speaking his language. Well, the idea also is to help the local businesses in the same time to let the foreign people discover through Russia and to improve the brand's image of Russia in foreign markets. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. For the time being, I just want to mention that we have already made an audio format, the trip to Karelia, northern Russia, and it's a gem of northern Russia, and it's possible to try it in audio format already, in English, French, and Spanish. Thank you.
Thanks, Anastasia, for the presentation. I invested in such kind of business about 3 years ago, but it solely was offline. So you were hiring local guides to travel within the country. Because of the pressure of the pandemics, it doesn't go well. So it should be wise for the coming few years to focus on the online thing. Anything, tourism, we know Russia is a great country on manner of the tourism, either hosting or visiting. So we usually used to have Russians as our guests, but you are working in the opposite direction. So it can also go well. My emphasis should be that one. There are many tourism dependent related startups worldwide. So just check what they had in their head. Did they succeed? Did they make it? Did they lose it? There are many startups. So just try to have some experience, some user experience from them. If you can have this before trying on your own self, you can shape your startup in a better way to get rid of the similar problems they have and to have some great opportunities that they didn't pursue yet.
Thank you. I'm working
just benchmark. Yes, just benchmark. There are many startups related with that kind of business, very similar. Just country differs. You can have great insights from their experiences.
Oh, thank you for the feedback. I just basically Googled and I didn't find any that is combined the three formats in one. I mean, there are ones who are making audio formats, there are ones who are making offline formats, but most of them, they are making like, let's say 2-3 tours, and they do not make the tours that are tailor-made, first of all, and then covering the whole country. So my main concept is that since, for example, you are coming to Russia and you want to make a trip in Siberia and then to Ural, I will make this tailor-made trip, even if it's an audio format, for you with the local guides, and it will be not like a mess thing, let's say like an application on an audio guide. It will be made exactly for your needs. So you know that you will spend 2 days in, let's say, one city. So I will make it for your concrete needs.
Let me make a bold statement here. When you Google, and if you cannot find a direct competitor, from the investor's perspective, there are only two options. One, the market is dead. Second, you should make a better search. There are competitors, but you didn't find.
Yes, I mean, I see the
So
competitors.
just find some competitors to compete and find some experiences. If you cannot find any competitor, and if you are not Google or Uber, take care about the probability that the market can be dead as well.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, there is no combination. There are different people who are working on different formats, but there is no one who is making the combination of three.
Yeah, just emphasizing that if there are no combinations, really,
no,
that can be the best option is making no combinations then. Just keep in mind.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I think for next, we have two startups, Atlantis Innovative Solutions and Greensurfer. Do you want to go on right now? Rabia or Özer?
It's okay for me. I can start. If it's okay for you too, Özer.
Sure.
Okay, then I need to share my screen. Can you make me a host, please? Okay.
Now you're co-host.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I can start. Hello everyone, I'm Rabia from Greensurfer, and today we will be focusing on our startup. The problem in Turkey is that there are users that are sustainable lifestyle seekers, but they don't have a platform to see sustainable brands. They don't know where to shop, or if the brand is sustainable, it is good for world, or is it harming? And this makes hard to possess sustainable lifestyles for them. And there are some companies in Turkey that are not able to reach their target audience, which are sustainable lifestyle seekers, and they want to sell their product to those target audience, but they don't have a platform also to advertise their value proposition, which is sustainability. So the solution here is that we create a marketplace for both of them. So we have both B2C and B2B customers. And for users, it will be easier to find brands to shop sustainable. They can learn more about where they shop, and they can save time during shopping. And companies can easily reach their target audience, and at the same time, they can promote their value proposition and find new customers. While doing this, we are also serving the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. And here our product is a marketplace to bring sustainable lifestyle seekers and sustainable brands together, as I mentioned before. And we have 5 different industries, which are clothing, home decor, cosmetics, food, and tourism. In our application, we will have those 5 different industries and companies from those industries. We will also create a community which are taking valuable and informative content on sustainable lifestyle, and they can make comments and ratings while using the platform. Our business model, because this is the most important part, because we make money. We have the primary source is a pay-per-click model like Trivago, and we will take commission if a visitor clicks on the website of our company, our partner company. And also the second revenue is from advertisement spots like Yemek Sepeti does. Our team is here, and I believe that this team is the unique team for this particular startup, because we are all interested in sustainability, and we are all students with energy, with different unique skills. That was all. You can contact me via our email and of course our Instagram account, and also you can visit our website. That was all. Thank you.
So thanks, Rabia, for the great presentation. It's really a good pain point to mention about and to make a business on it. Sustainability is one of the verticals that we are all trying to find good opportunities to invest in. So it looks good. The point that you can emphasize more is the revenue model. Revenue per click is you can make it also, but that kind of platforms that needs not only 2 parties but 3 or 4 parties, the contributing parties, because of the sustainability goal you have. You need to convince some sponsors, third parties, that you want to contribute them something. I don't know. That's your business. So it is not just the revenue model for you, but also the initiative model. You need to emphasize on the initiatives you create the third parties to contribute on that business. For example, if you need not just the seller and buyer, but a third party as an initiator or a moderator or some kind of beneficiary, I don't know. For example, like a non-government organization, you need to focus the initiatives to make them use the platform or to be a customer for the business. It's even harder than the basic platforms just requiring the seller and buyer only. So the third party is harder to gain, but your business success depends on the third party. So I advise you to focus on the initiative that you create for the third parties. Who are the mediators? Who are the beneficiaries? I don't know your business.
Okay, I have a question for this comment actually. Normally, sure. Our plan is to include non-government, non-profit organizations like Tema Vakfı in Turkey, and we have a plan like we will make a donation for every sale or for every month. For example, if we have a 100 visitors in a month, we will donate something to Tema Vakfı. Is that a kind of thing that you mentioned or something else? Because we are planning to become partners with them, but how can they make some, I don't know, earnings from or some benefits from our application?
That was the point of mine. Actually, it was. So, for example, Tema Vakfı is a hard party to have the board as a third party because they are very saturated. Everybody wants to pay something to Tema Vakfı. So they are on the buyer side for being a third party for a platform. So what would you give them to be motivated to use the platform? That's the point. That was the question that I was trying to address. So you need to create a good pain point for Tema Vakfı as well, to make them use your platform or make business with you. They are very saturated, and it will be hard to convince them for anything that you prove it for them, because everybody is donating to Tema Vakfı. So what would you make a difference to have their attention? That was the point. If you are relying on third parties like Tema Vakfı, focus on this, think about that. What will you create to convince them to make business with you? It's very hard for sustainability startups. It's the main issue. So a normal startup have one pain point to solve for your customers. You have 2 pain points, one for customer and one for the third party. So good pain point, go for it, but think about the initiative for the third parties.
Okay, last question, if you don't mind. Yeah. What about, rather than Tema, but a smaller non-profit organization which also want to make them visible to their target, but they are small, so maybe it could work better than Tema?
Actually, yes, it sounds better because they are very unsaturated. They are unsatisfied, I guess. So they will be more motivated to create value with you. There is more value they want to create rather than Tema Vakfı. So just find someone feeling humble, hungry, and full.
Okay, thank you.
You can go together, sure.
Okay, thank you. I think last startup will be Atlantis Meta Solution with Ozar. Ozar,
Hello,
you ready?
I'm
Hi.
ready. If I can share my
Okay,
screen.
yes. Yes, you can share now.
Yes. We are here. Hello, everyone. My name is Özer. I'm the founder of Atlantis Innovative Solutions and the owner of the Babil Management Systems. That is our product, which is a building, site, and shopping mall management systems. I want to explain a little bit about Atlantis. We are established in January in 2021 and located in Namık Kemal University Technopark Incubation Center since June. And what is Babil Management System? Our project, Babil Management System, is a mobile and web-based all-in-one management solution for the management companies, individual apartment managers, shopping mall administrations, and site administrations. And what we solve for them, our aim is to digitalize and centralize all the management processes on cloud, which is based on mobile, on their needs to connect the companies and their residents. For example, for the payment systems and the subscriptions of the pools, let's say, all kind of financial system can be integrated on it. Our customer target is management companies, individual building management, especially in Turkey, but we see a large opportunity in Europe and Asia for this. And also for shopping malls, our target customer. We aim to be the most trusted partner in the building management sector. We are two of people. I am the Özer, legal responsible and IT. I have 5-year programming language feedback. And I have a friend, Tolga, who is good at field-based sales and marketing. So we are two. I am the IT guy and he is the sales guy. Our business model, software as service model. So we will sell the yearly licensing, or at the beginning, of course, we will try and pay customer acquisition model. We will use it, and then we will go pay as you go pricing for small models, or for enterprises all in one yearly model. So I don't want to go in detail what our solutions, if you are interested in, because in this part we will have what we have in the product, which is full of modules and full of technologies. If you are interested, we can talk about. Thank you.
Thanks for the great presentation. Who are the competitors for your business, local or international?
Yes, we are starting, of course, starting in Turkey. We have 3 big competitors in the sector: Option, Apti, and there is one more, which I know. They are the biggest one, and also accounting also get the $500,000 investment at the moment, which is one of our competitors. But we have similar solutions, but we are getting feedbacks from the field that the customers are not satisfied with the current solutions. That's why we wanted to enter this sector as a programming company, as an IT company. So we will be specialized on this field. That Atlantis is not it is the owner of the Babil, but Babil is not the project that we are managing. We have other solutions that we work, but in terms of Babil system, management system, we will focus on. So because the project we are focusing on to shake the sector a little bit.
So what's the sustainable competitive advantage that you have against other competitors? You mentioned about customers are not very satisfied with them. What is that point?
Okay, there are some details on the financial management module that we are getting detailed feedbacks from the sector and the end customer. So we are correcting these points, and also we are adding our solutions into this product to develop the sector and also our product. So how can I say some of them are not happy with the finance module, let's say. So we all improved it with the feedbacks from the sector, from the end users. And also we are always developing, and also I can say 35% is the project MVP is not completed. We are not fully completed. We are developing, I can say, because we haven't finished the end product. We are under investing and developing on the knowledge.
So then please keep in mind that if you have competitors, and all we have competitors as well, if you have competitors in the market, you need to have a sustainable competitive advantage over them and a good competitive strategy and an exit strategy with the perspective of an investor. So when an investor asks for this one, you should prove something. We are cheaper, we are more qualified, we have a good, I think that was the point, good, better customer interface, or we are cheaper and we will sell the business to them. Anything that work. Just you need to focus on this thing when you're pitching on an investor, because especially in saturated markets like yours, this is very important. I passed away. Actually, one of my 2 exits was on the PropTech sector, a very similar business in United Kingdom, and passed away many similar opportunities just because they were very similar. Most of them didn't succeed because they didn't have the sustainable advantage over the others to survive. Some made it, but I did not see later they pivoted after me. But they need to create a sustainable advantage over the competitors to survive. That was why they were able to survive. Just keep in mind that you need either a good exit strategy to sell the business to the others, or to get rid of them with a solid competitive advantage, because it's a very saturated market. Even in Turkey, you have strong competitors, fully invested competitors. It's much more harder.
I see. I didn't mention, but our technology that we use, I can emphasize, is the latest technologies with the cloud technology and also AI and machine learning technology with our modules. These are the benefits. I didn't mention actually because of time problem. But yes, you are right, and we will create a difference in the sector, that for sure. This is our model. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for great sharings for everybody. I think I just want to ask for last words actually for Kıvılcım Çaylı. He might give a common advice for startups for a couple of minutes before we finish the session. And thank you for all sharings. And can you please give some advices for startups for a couple of minutes that they can create their speech and pitch talks next week, or they can use it later?
For me, I think the question is to me or the startups to ask for me.
No, I'm asking you actually
Right.
to share some advices to startups.
I could
The
be
question?
the question.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My biggest dilemma and the question in head is when is the right time to go to VCs? Because I think that should be very well planned, considering the fact that the startup is sharing an equity, and it should be really the right time, considering valuations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when should be the right time for that? This is my number one question. And the second question is, I know from VCs that they also consider it as a lottery to invest on startups. Like they always say, we invest on 10 startups and 2 of them are successful, something like that. And that's already a success for us, which means to me, it doesn't matter all the preparations, financial and business plans and everything. At the end of the day, you are successful or unsuccessful. And what is really the criteria there? I really want to learn that. It's a bit maybe tricky question.
Sure. No, actually, they are good questions that we face every day and think every day. So thanks for that, for the chance to explain them, if I can. The first is easier question, when? So it depends on the investor, it depends on your company stage and your valuation. At every stage, there are investors that focus on that particular stage. You can find pre-seed investment, post-seed investment, pre-revenue investment, Series A investment, etc., etc. For every stage, there are investors. Just try to connect with the right stage, with the right investor that focuses on that stage. Every investor and every VC should have an investment thesis. Just find them. Just do not make cold calls, cold emails to everyone in your network. Just try to understand what they invest in what stage. So there's not a true answer for that, but keep in mind that if you want an investor in any stage, you can find. Just try to find that investor that invests companies in that stage. So this is the first one. For me, as a standard, as an average investor, it is pre-revenue stage. My investment thesis is that early growth and pre-revenue. If you want to have me as an investor, you need to have some paying customers and some traction.
Okay.
So you can compare with other investors. The second is a more tricky one. Actually, we are not playing to win the lottery or something like that. Actually, we are trying to manage the risks as a portfolio management mindset. So for every investment we have, we believe that it will be the home run for baseball players. It will be the best investment we will have. But also on the other side, we know that it's a probability, not possibility, not a yes or no question. We know that mostly 80% will fail and 20% will win, or it may vary. So having this in mind, we are trying to manage the risk and make a portfolio that will pay all of the investments we made and the home run. So it's not a lottery, but probability, managing the probability. I will be the most happy investor if all of the investments I made makes the run 100%. But on the other side, I know that at least half of them will fail. Maybe 20% will be great companies, and I'm playing to maximize that. If on the probability side you are trying to maximize that, you need to make it's math more than 10 investments. It's not a lottery, but it's math.
The secret message from my side to the startups is that you could do everything right. We are now training, it's like the 9th week. we are giving a lot of information. We are transforming a lot of information from all of these international mentors. Thanks you to all of you. But you could do all of the things right and correct, and maybe you found the right problem, but it might still fail. And my secret message is that none of us might even understand that, investors, mentors, or whatever. We still give credits, but it fails. So don't give up. My secret message is maybe that, because if as an investor or mentor, if we would know what would be going to be successful, we would be all very, very rich, having unicorns. But we even, might justify it as in a wrong way, So I think the entrepreneurs should have this spirit that we should never give up. Failures are a way of learning, and that's normal. That was my secret message beside this question, in fact, because I'm on startup side. All these mentors and investors, we are always trying to teach, but and they feel all this load on their shoulders, but it is really normal to fail and begin again. That's okay, I think.
That made 2 points with that. It was a good summary, and I'm completely agree with that. Also, I just want to add this thing. For example, if you pitch to me and if I wouldn't invest, it may be just because of you are out of my interest, or my ticket size is big or small for you, or the industry is out of my scope. So that doesn't mean that you will fail or you are a bad opportunity. Just I may be the wrong investor candidate. Just keep in mind this. So that was why I mentioned about the investment thesis. Find investors that you are among the investment thesis. This is the first point. Second point is that I may sound crazy today because I just want to simulate the investor mindset to you. This is the way I do every day. Investors, because of their mindset, try to find obstacles, just reasons for not investing. So when I cannot find anything that avoid me from investing, I invest. For this reason, I always look for something making me not investing in you. This is a kind of obstacle clearance. If you can clear the obstacles in my mind that avoid me investing in your startup, you can have me. So I just wanted to simulate the investor mindset today. Do not feel upset about that. Just clear the obstacles that the investor wants to escape from the investment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you for great sharings. And I think I would like to thank you, everybody, to their presentation, every startups. And I think it was like great for them to like just practice their next speech. It will be important day for all of them. And I would like to thank you, Kıvılcım Çaylı, to share his experience with us also. And we will have to go on with the next section with Ece Ildır. And I think she's here. Okay, it's going to be training section for next. It's about capital rising and investment agreement. She will talk about her experiences about law of tech management. And she is law of tech managing partner, while experienced in capital market, tax banking, and finance. She's advising entrepreneurs, tech companies, universities, incubation centers, venture capitals. Her profession is startup law, personal data protection law, finance law, tech law, blockchain, crowdfunding, angel investment, and intellectual properties. Ece, are you here?
I'm here. I'm listening to you. Thanks for the introduction. So I can start if you want.
Yeah, we want you to start to your presentation and introduce yourself. I will. You use.
I want to use a presentation, but
okay.
After my speech, I can send a presentation to all participants. But now
Okay.
I will tell it will be a simulated one. So first, thanks for introduction. I'm Ece Yıldır, attorney at law. I'm a lawyer. I worked more than 10 years in special banks in Turkey, as well Denizbank, and after then more than 8 years in Akbank as a legal chief in-house legal team. So after 12 years, I ran my own office on 2016. I'm working with portfolio management companies, investment companies, angel investors, and entrepreneurs, and also banks and some other fintech companies. So today I will tell you about investment agreements and the models of investment agreements when you want to get an investment with investors. So there are three main investment agreement models. One is investment agreement, the other is shareholder agreement, and the third one is purchase and sale agreement. So we can start perhaps telling about what is capital raising. Capital raising enables startups to hire people they need, develop new products and services, conduct sufficient sales and marketing to promote their business. So we can say that raising capital to grow and transform your business is a core part of being a business owner. So capital raising is the process by which a business raises money, enabling it to fund an expansion of its operations. To raise capital from third parties, however, owners need to negotiate by using capital raising documentation and investment agreements. So when we say capital raising, we face issues of shares. There are advantages and disadvantages of issues of shares. The advantages are perking this capital raising method is the lack of financial burden on the owners, as they are not obliged to repay the investor. So the investor will instead receive financial returns based on the market performance of the company. And when we speak about disadvantages of issues of shares, the major setback is that ownership of the company is diluted, resulting in business decisions being undertaken by other shareholders. Owners have less scope to take risk and have lesser say while proposing risk-taking business and development initiatives. So for a successful startup, there are usually several rounds. And the first one is seed. Everyone knows that is friends, family, and angel investor. And for about the first stage, we can say it's Series A. This involves angel investors and venture capital funds. The second stage is Series B. This involves venture capital funds and private equity investor. And the third stage, we can say that involves cornerstones investors and private equity investors looking for cash on a future initial public offering. And funding rounds provide investors with different investment needs with the opportunity to participate in different stages of the growth of the company. So the first model is investment agreements. And what's an investment agreement? And an investment agreement is a contract between the founder and investor. Investors who are looking for the purchase shares or existing the company. The incoming investor could be the new shareholder on the company or an external investor existing a shareholder. The investment agreement outlines the rights and the responsibilities for the parties and the restriction on the exercise of the powers. There are terms and conditions that lays out clearly the new company owners and also owners for owners to raise capital through investment from angel investor or the investment companies or the venture capitals. So this helps raise more capital for business growth. When we speak about the investment agreements, what's public investment and what's private investment? Capital raising can be done with private or public equity transactions. A public one is, as we say that IPO, this public offering on the stock market. For public capital raising, there are stricter requirements, there are some legal barriers, there are some permissions from capital markets for the transactions. And for instance, the certain funds must be secured when a company offer for a public company is announced. Also, conditions give rise to effectiveness and rights to terminate. It cannot be unconditional. And since we are primarily focusing on startups, we will proceed under the assumption and investment will occur a private setting. So what is the elements of an investment agreement? We have to answer some questions toward through the drafting investment contract. The main question is how much should the investor pay and how many shares the angel investor entitled to. The main term of an investment agreement is the payment of a sum money to the company's bank account and subscription price by a certain time on the completion date. So amount of the share capital correspondence of the issuance of share by the company means more money you pay, more shares you get. So the issues of the shares will then have to be recorded to company record shares transfer. And what's the elements of investment agreements? We can continue with telling, and after transfer of shares, will the rights and obligations shareholder remains. The use of adherence clauses ensures the obligations provided in these agreements, this kind of agreements adhere to future transfers under the investment agreement. In addition, if there is a shareholder agreement between the shareholder and the owner of the company, will be executed by requiring the new investors for transfer of the debt of adherence to the shareholder agreement. This means that the rights and obligations of shareholder would remain the same after transfer of shares if the new shareholder is an original investor by the investment agreement or the shareholder agreement. Sometimes the clauses are incorporated by signing, but sometimes we can arrange an debt of adherence protocol instead in that kind of investment agreements. How can the risk of investing in an unprofitable company mitigated? The answer is investment trains enable investors to pay their financial obligations through the part payments. It's a form of structured financing, which refers to divisions of potentially risky financial products loans. Under the investment agreement, funding can be given in the installments in stage over a period. After agreeing to partial payment, investment funding, the important question arises that when should the investor pay the funding the remains? In common practice, would pay in accordance with the business milestones frequently used metrics include revenue, number of customers, product development, etc. And if investor forgets to pay for the investment funding, you can send a call notice to shareholder to require them make the payment on time. So how can the owners of a company gain trust from the investors? They can do so through an investment warranty in that kind of agreements. An investment warranty is an explicit representation that statements made are true and accurate. Sorry for my voice. The original owner of the company are required for warrant key information, financial status, accounting tax arrangements, company assets, company structure, and legal position of the employees of business plans. These are the key informations for the investor. The investment warranty services as an official legal document that can give rise the liability when the information warranted is untrue. So these offer security to the incoming investor and increase the likelihood the angel investor are willing to fund the business. If company encounters the certain business problems, the original owners should notify the incoming investors by using risk disclosure statement. Common issues for the founders should express clearly to investors. There are some topics: litigation, financial status, conflicting relationships, agreements, and warranties. Litigation is that the current shareholder are not convicted by a criminal court or found a civil court or any litigation proceeding, particularly violation of securities, commodities, and trade practice law. The financial status is that the current shareholder are not subject to bankruptcy. Conflicting relationships are current shareholders have no confidential agreements or other kind of agreements from the managing business. And agreement seems that there's no acquisition, deposition, registration, or voting securities in agreements. Warranties are that all companies' representation and warranties are true and accurate. And so how can we prevent a possible investment disputes in the future? In an investment agreement, the rights of the investors are usually detailed negotiations between founders and investors. These prescribed rights often involve the rights to receive corporate reports and as an IPO for registering as an IPO. Preemption rights are the most popular and most important rights, and may also include these enable current investor to have priority of purchasing shares before the future investors, the future venture capital or angel investor will make his or her investment. So how can we impose the limitations on shareholders? And a restrictive covenant limits the shareholder ability to sell or transfer ownership of the company. Confidentiality agreements are also used and incorporated in the investment agreements to ensure corporate information remains private. And the second kind of agreement is a shareholder agreement. A shareholder agreement is an agreement concluded between the shareholders of the company. The agreement defines the respective rights and responsibilities of all shareholders, organizes the management of the company, protects the interest of the minority of the shareholders, and also usually investors. What is the difference between shareholder agreement and investment agreement? Differences are a shareholder agreement stipulates and protects the rights of all shareholders, and investment agreements concerns the investment made by incoming and new shareholders. For instance, an anti-dilution clause can be incorporated to ensure same proportion of ownership. The shareholder agreement serves as an outline of the rights and shareholders in shareholders of the company. An investment agreement mainly governs the rights and obligations incoming investors. It protects the business and set out from the payment from the new investors. And investors can choose not to invest the company should the company fail to meet certain requirements. In the most basic sense, it's a contract between company owners and the investors who want to purchase ownership of the company. And what is the similarities? Both agreements serve as an important document for capital raising. They define the terms and investment and set boundaries from the exercise of refrainment of power of company. Together, they prevent disputes between shareholders, and everything is written in black and white. Due to their similarities in an aspect, the shareholder agreement and the investment agreement are combined into one document. What should the shareholder agreement cover? When we draft a shareholder agreement, we have to answer the questions of how much of the company does each shareholder own? How much does each shareholder have to pay to get the shares? What are the rights of each shareholder under corporate structure? Is there any protection for minority of shareholders? As there are any restrictions or prevent shareholders from competing against the company, are there any dividend policies? How should the shareholder exit or terminate their interest in the company? What are the accounting policies in company? Do shareholders have the right to abandon or acquire the shares? Do shareholders have the right to buy additional shares before a third party invests? What if the shareholder come across deadlock resolution to dispute? So after answering this kind of questions, we can write and negotiate on shareholder agreement. The third model of the agreement is sale and purchase agreement. For the sale and purchase agreement, it's another way to investor to participate in the equity of capital and of the company, buying shares. We don't raise the capital amount. We sell and transfer the share amounts of after the sale and purchase agreement. The main difference between investment of the company is capital raising for the selling shareholders rather than the company. The existing shareholder would cash out, but the company would not getting the investment amount. That means that when you sell your share as an entrepreneur, you get the money, not the company gets the money. A sale and purchase agreement is a legally binding contract between buyer and seller. So here are some, we can say that share sale and purchase agreements which governs the transfer of the shares new investors. The seller shareholder may choose to sell a part or all of the company shares. If the investor gets all of the company shares, it is merger and acquisition. And under a share sale and purchase agreement, the company doesn't need issue new shares. This form a capital raising, and founders who don't want to sell or dilute their current ownership of the company, current investor, who would like to cash out their investment immediately selling shares. After transferring the shares, company record of share transfer to registration body in your country. And what's the difference between share sale and purchase agreement and share subscription agreement? Share sale and purchase agreements are used when an existing shareholder wants to sell his or ownership of the company to another party. A share sale and purchase agreement may echo the adherence clause incorporated the investment agreement. To do so, the transfers are commonly required to enter into a deed of adherence with all other company owners. So thanks for listening to me. These are the main models of agreements, model of agreements. So if you have questions, I can answer.
Thank you. If anybody has a question?
Is there?
I think it was a good overview, but most probably when every startup comes to the point of these different levels or models, maybe they might ask you, I think, are you in maternity as well? Or maybe you can share the contact information so that
Of course.
the startups might contact you when it's the time, right time, you know, to ask for right questions. This is my general feeling.
Yes, and also this is really detailed topic. Maybe any startups, I'm sure that they have a question about it, but there's a lot of information and it's hard to really understand in first step. And also it's hard to really like keep in their mind. And Özer asked about presentation also, if you can share with them later.
Of course, I will send Zerrin, and you can send all participants
Okay, so you can also share with them too, and it will be great for them because all startups here, and some of them have been like the really latest step, but it's still most of them in the beginning of their journey. So I think it will be great for them to know these details. And is there any questions that you want to ask right now, because we still have time, and maybe some startups want to ask a question or any comment that you want to share?
There's no question, I think, no.
I have.
Yeah.
But it's free.
Okay.
You know, you know, lawyers are working in a hourly period, and this is free. Why don't you ask your questions about your startups, your company?
Okay, Özer has a question, I think.
Yes.
He's gonna ask the question.
First of all, sorry for your voice because I know you enjoyed last week.
Yeah.
I would like to ask the question on the seeding stage. Which one is preferred in Turkey, especially because, or in Europe, let's say, and which one is the most advantageous for the entrepreneurs from our side, and what we should care about at the first stage? Should we care about the growing and translating our company the one level higher, or choosing the right investor with right agreements? What you say?
It's about how many how much money you have when you start business. If you have money, if you have financial finance, you can walk very long. Entrepreneurs focusing getting investment, but the entrepreneurs have to focus a good and successful business. When your mission and vision is getting a successful company, investors will come. But when you focus on getting investment and selling your shares or exiting from the company, investors doesn't want to come. For the seed capital, you can find an angel investor, and they will put money. You will put your idea or your product. Then you can establish a company with the investor together in the first stage. So you will have a shareholder agreement, and you will start the business with investor from the first stage. But you have to know that there are many ideas. But also everybody has good ideas. But the main idea is getting a successful company, getting a successful business model.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Azar, and thank you, Ajay. Okay, if there's no more questions, I want to ask Zarin that maybe she can share something with us, because this is our last session and last acceleration program right now, and I think maybe she can share something.
Thank you, Özge.
Something.
I think I feel very emotional because it's like still since 17th of July, we are coming together every Saturday. And I really want to thank our startups who were really passionate, ambitious enough to be here every Saturday. I really hope that it was successful for all of them. I really hope that there are good takeaways for them. We were really very lucky to have such great mentors with us, like Ece, like Kıvılcım Çaylı, and many others from more than 10 countries. And I'm really happy that I'm getting messages from all of our mentors still about how they can help to our startups. So please be aware of that. We are really very lucky. So next weekend is very special to us. We have the Eurasia Startup Summit. I would like to also mention that although we planned it to, the initial plan was to do it in Bodrum, in person and online, but unfortunately due to these wildfires and still COVID situation, we had to postpone it to May. But still, for the ones that are in Istanbul, both for the startups and mentors and trainers, we are meeting in Nurol Tower office seminar room for like together, and the rest will be online. The startups will have the chance to pitch to investors and the mentors. It is partially official, but we are making also other agreements so that all this pitching will be recorded and will be even published in other environments as well. So I really suggest our startups to get well prepared for such a pitching. And we are very excited. So after the online summit, during the day, next Saturday, again in Istanbul, sorry for this guys, it's a bit last minute information. We are meeting in Beyoğlu for dinner and celebration. So everyone is welcome. You are going to be having more information about that as well. So that was the first part of our Let's Scale Up Acceleration Program and the Eurasia Startup Summit. You know, the first ones are always the most special ones. We do want to go on with it. We do want to make it traditional, the summit and the acceleration program as well. But these ones will be the most special ones for us. We will be always supporting you. It's not the end, it's just the beginning. This is my feeling. We are going to be walking the whole way together. Thank you very much for all of you. And Özge, in the name of you, I also would like to thank to JCI Eurasia and Gain Global team. It's for such a volunteered organization. I think it was really more than enough, really good program. So I feel very lucky to have you all guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will let my team know about your comments also. I will share your thanks with them. And thank you for everybody. And I want to thank you for Bahar too. And she really worked so hard for this, and she's not here today. But I'm feeling that her heart is together with us. And next week will be really important for all of us. We're so excited for it, and we will have chance to be in person, and we will have chance to see each other, like partly, but still is so important for us. And for Bodrum event, the startups still have a chance to be with us in Bodrum in May. So I think we still can communicate and we still can be together. And also I have one question. I want to ask about mentority. Do we still keep going on there? Like we will open this platform still, like we keep it open for startups and they have chance to meet our mentors there still, right? Am I right, Zerin, for it? The mentority part.
Yes, for the mentors that would like to go on being there, we will of course, keep it open. But also, growing day by day, having even more mentors with us. So I think that platform will be also evolving and growing day by day. So we are not closing it yet. Of course, if anybody needs help and if there's any mentor who could have time to, help you, you are more than welcome to schedule, of course.
Okay. I just want to make it clear because maybe startups can think that is gonna also end too, but they can keep.
In any ways, this week is important because it is the last week and next weekend on Saturday is going to be the pitching. So please just use it.
Yeah. Okay. So if anybody want to talk, they can also share their feelings. And otherwise, I think we just can finish this section and it's already the time to finish it. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Taha. Thank you for your attendance and everybody also. Thank you for our mentors, Ece and Kıvılcım, Çayla. And I think we ended our last section. And next week, see you everybody again.
In the summit.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to get details on the next week.
Yes.
But not on Thursday or Friday because we needed to we needed to get prepared, and how long we will talk on the pitch, how many minutes we will talk. This is very important issues to prepare and adjust our thoughts and the slides. And
okay, we'll share the detailed information as soon as possible with you guys, and I'll share it behind us too, and we'll work on it and share it to you soon.
Thank you so much. See you there soon.
See you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.